Greetings, educators, parents, students, and anyone within ear's reach of my voice. Welcome to episode 2 of season 3 of Meetings with Mugs, a podcast all about positive impacts in education. I'm broadcasting live from the Shrink Gym in South Houston, Texas. The Shrink Gym is owned by Ray DeBlanc and is a proud sponsor of this podcast. At the Shrink Gym, not only can you get your fitness workout in, but you can also be provided with mental health therapy. Mr. DeBlanc is a licensed clinical social worker. Here at the Shrink Gym, this is where the mind and the body unite. So speaking of your mind and body, how are you holding yourself accountable professionally and personally? Do you hold yourself accountable on the job? Do you hold yourself responsible for your own actions? Sure, it's easy to take credit for the things that go well, but are you taking responsibility for the things you do wrong? For instance, have you ever wronged a kid and admitted to it and made amends for it? Or have you ever sat with your leadership for a conference because of a bad decision you made and you didn't make excuses? You see, that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is self-accountability. There is nothing wrong with showing humility on the job. We aren't perfect. We all make mistakes. But just be sure to learn from those mistakes and correct them. As an educator, I remind you, all decisions made on the job should be in the best interest of the students you have been entrusted with. Now, switching gears into your personal life, are you holding yourself accountable for your physical and mental health? We can often overlook our personal health because simply we're too busy doing other things. Many times, this leads to illnesses and effects on your life that can't be reversed. But if you catch it in time, your life can be put back on track. That's why it's important to get your annual wellness exam. In addition, a healthy diet and exercise is always in order. Unfortunately, I haven't been the healthiest, but that's why today I'm joined by Jeremy Miller, an educator who is a personal fitness trainer and the owner of Peak Alpha Performance. Jeremy is going to give us some insight into keeping ourselves healthy. So let's have him join us. See you in a bit. All right, Coach Miller.
How we doing?
Great, and yourself?
Doing well, doing well.
Welcome to Meetings with Mugs, podcast all about positivity and education. It's a pleasure to have you on this podcast with us today. So let's get right into it. My understanding is that you are a third-year educator in physical education.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about what you are most passionate about in education?
All right, so this is my third year. So this is my first year actually doing elementary. So that has been a challenge for me, but it's also been super rewarding and a lot of fun. So I'm very passionate about inspiring the youth, working with the younger generation and just being a leader for them and just teaching them the importance of having confidence in themselves and living healthy lifestyles.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for what you do with that, Coach. We
Yes,
really
sir.
appreciate that. So my next question to you is what accomplishments do you have in education so far? I know it's only been 3 years, but what are something or what is there that you are proud of, an accomplishment that you have made?
So recently, I was surprised with an award. Our school is big on giving out awards for different characteristics. So I was blessed to receive an award for courage. So that was very surprising to me. But the kids were excited. I was excited about it. I was glad and blessed to be able to receive that award in front of them. But just starting a new chapter of my journey and being able to do it with the elementary side has been really cool. It has taken a lot of courage just to learn the different nuances, working with them,
Right.
The energy you have to have every day just to inspire them and make sure that, I have make sure they're having a lot of fun and they're working hard. So that was pretty cool.
Well, that's pretty awesome, Coach. Congratulations on that.
Yes,
So,
sir.
you mentioned being at the elementary level. It's your first year at the elementary level. So, have you spent your other 2 years in middle school or high school?
So I've started as a para in middle school, so that was pretty cool. And then I did last year. I was at Beta Academy, and I worked from I did third grade through 12th grade, which was a
Oh,
challenge. So I got to kind of see every single different level. Um, and it was cool. Like I said, that was a challenge in itself. That was new for me. That was my second year teaching, and that was my first year teaching full time. So I learned a lot. I was around a lot of great people that helped me along the way. So I was able to take a lot of the things I learned last year and then kind of, I guess, sharpen and refine it for elementary, which has been a whole different challenge. But like I said, it's been a lot of fun for me.
well, I'll tell you what, that definitely takes a lot of courage
Yeah, for sure.
working with, and you're going from working with high school to middle school to elementary to the youngest of them all. So it takes plenty of courage to work at all grade levels within the school system. So kudos to you. So, Coach, let me ask you, is there any mentoring that you do outside of the school?
Yes, sir. So I've been a trainer for the last almost 15 years. So I've worked with pros all the way down to elementary level. So one of my sayings I always try to say is lead from the front. So I'm very big on teaching my students and athletes how to develop a work ethic. And if you want anything in life, you have to keep working at it and go get it.
So you work with professional and semi-professional athletes. So that means me working with you, you will be able to actually make something out of me.
Oh, I got you. Everybody's an athlete. So everybody is an athlete. That's my belief. Especially as educators, that's one big thing I try to let my fellow educators know is we have a very demanding job. You know, it's very stressful, it's very demanding. We don't realize how much we're moving.
That is
We're
right.
walking back and
Absolutely.
forth, to these different classrooms and working with kids of different ages. So we have to make sure we're taking care of ourselves so we can, be of service to them.
That's right. I always say that a better you as an educator results in a better student.
For sure.
So, Coach, let's move forward a little bit. Let's talk about characteristics and traits that you feel are important to possess as an educator.
I would say my biggest trait that I would say is probably empathy. Being able to put yourself in other people's shoes. Being a gym owner and a trainer, I kind of saw things from both sides. So now being an educator and understanding there's admin, there's educators, so there's all these different things, and even our students, we have to understand that they're going through things, we're going through things, so we have to be able to put ourselves in each other's shoes, and just give a lot of grace to each other. Give grace when things don't go right. Give grace to our students. So making sure we have the patience to deal with the different attitudes and energies that we're going to deal with each day, and just make sure that we're always spreading a positive light for them.
Coach, that was powerful. Grace and understanding, empathy. Did you hear that, educators? Grace and understanding.
Definitely.
Make sure you heard that correctly.
Definitely.
So, Coach, let me ask, are there any tools, any resources that you use to reflect on your job as an educator?
Yes, sir. So for me, what I've had to start doing, especially this year, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. So I always try to start my day with prayer, journaling, and meditation. So I always try to make sure that I have enough time to kind of have some quiet time before we get into the chaotic day, the very dynamic work environment. I try to just set an intention for the day. I've been dealing with spending time just having gratitude, learning how to breathe. That's been actually very cool for me, is like learning how to breathe through stressful situations. Um, and at the night I journal, and then I'm always praying to definitely have patience. And I think God gives it to us in some very strange ways. And but it's been cool just coming into my day knowing I'm here to serve. It's not about me, and how can I help? So that's
Awesome.
been good.
That is absolutely awesome. Those are some very key activities for us to engage in, journaling, meditation, prayer, all of these things that you mentioned, and having an attitude of gratitude. These are a lot of um, wonderful things that you can participate in activity wise that can help you to have patience,
Definitely.
to help you to have understanding. These will help enhance your emotional intelligence, which I always talk about.
For sure.
And the better your emotional intelligence is, the better you will be on the job
For
and in
sure.
your personal
For
life.
sure. For sure, for sure.
So, Coach, I have one final question for you. We don't actually have the mugs on us right now today
Gotcha.
because we are here to work out, right?
Definitely,
So,
yes, sir.
I want to ask you, what is in your cup of positivity?
So my saying I always say is lead from the front. So what I mean by that is I try never to put on anybody some stuff that I personally wouldn't do. For my students, if I tell them, hey, let's eat healthy and exercise, I do it myself. So I try to lead from the front. That's been my mantra and saying. I'm a big Kobe guy, so that was always kind of something I always took from him, is just making sure that we're leading by example and we're not just telling people to do things, but we're doing it ourselves.
I can't tell you and express how fantastic that is when you say lead from the front. When we go into war in the world, generals are always leading from the back. They're
Yes, sir.
making the game plan, and the smaller soldiers are on the front line.
Yes,
But
sir.
when we lead from the front, as we do in education, we lead by the example that we are setting for our younger generations.
Definitely, definitely.
Well, Coach, I thank you very much for your time on this interview.
Yes, sir.
We're not going to talk a whole bunch because guess what? Now it's time for us to work out.
out.
So you're going to catch a little bit of us in action.
Yeah.
Let's get
do
it.
I mix you again. Love is the answer. My good people, how not they? Beautiful people, tell me what's in day. Love is the answer. Bitterness full the world today, full the world today. People lamenting. Everywhere you go, people just they cry. What is the answer? To love is to serve them people. To love is to help them people. Action they say speaks louder than words. That is the answer. My good people, how not they? Beautiful people, tell me what it is. Love is the answer. When we show love to one another, that's how we go grow together. Nothing go put us asunder. Love is the answer. Imagine yomo, imagine yomo. Urima, 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 imagine yomo. Imagine yomo, imagine yomo. Urima, 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 imagine yomo. Love is the answer. The earth is but one country and mankind is citizens. Pride not yourself cause you love your country. Your happiness you can because you love the whole world. Urima, 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 ima is the answer. My good people, how not they? Beautiful people, tell me what in day. Love is the answer. When we show love to one another, that's how we go grow together. Nothing go put us asunder. Love is the answer. When we show love to one another, that's how we go grow together. Nothing go put us asunder. Blessings go shower. When we show love to one another, that's how we go grow together. Nothing go put us asunder. Blessings go shower. Everybody got to live as brothers, never to mind any borders. Action they say speaks louder than words.